What up, tribe? I'm a first timer, first rhymer, but it seemed to be an easier way. It seems like we have all gone through the same experiences. We've told everyone the Gates Foundation is not your friend. They've had a chance to connect the dots themselves, but it's now time to move past to figure out what else is really going on in this giant song. The Gates and the Faucis and all these characters in this realm are appointed from on high to play their roles. They've done it for eternity in this eternal sea. That's why they get a little bit giddy when they're carrying out their roles, because it really is a big stage. It's a projection from God's face, but through a mirror. That's what we're looking through darkly onto the stage. So what they're doing is all written in the pages. That's why the order was go home with your paper rolls, because the message is that you have to look within and ponder those paper scrolls. What's in those paper scrolls will also tell you, do not worship false idols or put anything above the Most High, nor put your leader out there on a dead paper, because it always says to find the true living spirit that lives within you. That's the message of this whole exercise. COVID-19 is to sort out the worthy. That's why it's always red. Now, the lost tribe of Judah was scattered down here. That's the Tower of Babel. And we all have a golden thread that attaches us, that enters our physical body through our backs. From the sacrum, if you count up 19, that is the cervical vertebrae of Jacob's ladder. So that's what the CV-19 is in this matter. It's not about, we all know it's not about a virus, but if you have fear in your heart, you're denying your maker. So it's going to come up real close and test us, brother against brother, to make sure that we can pass the test and get through the eye of the needle. Now, why does everyone find themselves in this condition? It's because when we came down here with our Trinity, it was to test us. So this symbol we all know. This represents the spirit and your soul. They're inseparable. But when you came through the portal, you took physical form, you rocked from a star. The rock is your physical body. This is the Trinity from all the movies. And so everything that we see down here that's Babylon. The two eyes are blind. We want to start seeing from our one eye, where all is united. So it's a test. It's intricate. It's beautiful. Everything that we witness here is God's mind, but in reverse. So that's a key, a clue that we left, so that we could play this game at the right level that we were meant to, and create, to manifest the world that we remember. So this is a part of the game where we're meant to remember. So I've always hesitated in going public. Important to keep what's public and private in your mind. So what they tell you is your very first day here on this earth is when you were birthed from the canal. But in reality, there were 9 months that were you. Right? So it's a test. So you got a birth certificate, you got a number. If there's no one at home in your head, there's a government out there. That's what the government does. They're doing that's all they can do. It's a shadow. It's the C19 or CV-19 is to test if anybody is at home in the temple. Now, where did we get lost? Well, Jesus had 12 disciples. Those are your 12 cranial nerves. Judah is the one that betrayed Christ. Judah is the 10th cranial nerve. Roman numeral, right? That's the cross, the real cross. The vagus nerve, Judah is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve wanders all throughout the body. It gets lost and it's involved in the parasympathetic system. Para is outside. It's the reflection. A simp is simpatico. It's meant there to help you. All of these characters that we see in the news, these Faucis and Gates, they're only testing you to see if you will give your power away to your temple. The real Game of Thrones, if you watch that, you'll remember that who held the key was the one with the memories. So that's what we're witnessing here on this stage. It's the white and the black. That's the checkerboard with the gray men to test and sort. And then they tell us someone died. Just break down the name. The words are the swords to the keys to the prize. George is red. It's the blood. Floyd, I think his name was. But a Floyd is also a Lloyd. And a Lloyd is a gray. That's the gray man, where that comes from. So it's seen if you have your alloidal title. That means there's no separation from your Trinity. You're reunited. So our next move in this is to understand that it's going to get a little bit crazy, but it's just the samadhi, samara, the illusion, the Babylonian beast system. And it even says that in the scripture that the tribe of Judah, we got sentenced to Babylon. That's exactly what's going on. This Bible is not something that happened 2,000 years ago. It's perfectly updated to the present, the gift. So now we know. So when the next crazy thing that the government does, remember that you are your own governor. That's all that this was, is to test that. And that you have control of your body. Your body comes from the original body. So your spirit and your soul need nothing from this illusion. Anything you reach for, you'll get lost in confusion. You create desires that can never be fulfilled. So as you interact with this, it's a game to play and experience, but it's not the real world that we remember. So be glad that that's why it's separating itself so that it can find itself. And the mask is the symbol of what God gave us to breathe life into us. When we rock starred through the star portal, we're the real rock stars. And there are things in the set that we put here to remember, to give us a clue. That's the key to figuring out what we're meant for. So we are the rock stars. So these iconic songs. Iconic, they never go away. The archetypes always carry on. The archons will always play their roles. They even showed us that they have white plaster images of all of their roles. So the red, the heart, from where we come. The next color in the spectrum is red, Roy G. Biv, red, and then orange. That's why we now have an orange president for when the trumpets sound. That's why Trump Pence is in office for this time. So there's really nothing to worry about except remembering how to look from the third, the one, the unity. Because when all is one, one is all. And it's written in all of the songs. They're not satanic, it's just that's what's shown through the mirror. Because we're the five-pointed star with our head at the top. And then the reflection through the mirrored glass darkly, it's an upside-down one. There's nothing evil about it. It's just a testament of how incredible the God is. And we have rock starred down here to take the challenge. So this is all just simple living proof that there is a spiritual world that's being revealed. This is the apocalypse, the unveiling. So let's start to become more aware of the ship that we're sailing. So all of the things that will come to pass, just remember your Trinity cannot be destroyed. And you'll see that that shadow world, all it can do is retreat, because that's all it is. It's just reflecting what's in the collective mind and the hearts of those who see it, because that's what we're manifesting. So I've had a whole series of experiences throughout my life, and I would ask the gods, or my spirit guides, for guidance, and they've never let me down. And one of the main themes was that you'll be 48 when you finally get the key to this game. And a couple of weeks ago, it dawned on me, because I would turn 48 in my birth Earth years in November, but I've already been here 9 months before that, 9 the master number. So this is what is going on in this part of the play, this act. So if there's something in Minnesota, you just break down the numbers, and it's a roll, gematria roll. The Bible at one point was over 2,000 pages, a palindrome from front to back. That's how powerful the mind is. So it is always updated. The stage is created. You actually created this test at a higher level of your awareness. And so for those about to rock, we salute you. Those are in the airwaves, the iconic songs. There's keys in all of those. They never go away until you remember. So be not afraid, because we will show by example what we really are. We'll make the Babylon beast its real orchestrator is now on the set. And it will root for you. There's no way to lose this game, because we are dreaming it. But we know that the dream was not right, because there is only one law. That's how simple it is. Do unto others and do no harm. And we can see that that was needed corrected here. We can't be eating ourselves and inflicting all this fear. Notice that the elite never appears in the KJV Bible, because that's the they. It's just your subconscious shadow. There's no reason to get mad at that. And if you're asking for direction from that, you've lost your captain of your ship, and you've taken your citizenship, where codes and rules and policies, that's where all that exists. It's created by God's mind to handle those who break the law. That's what it's for. Will always exist. So adhere to that one law. Everything else makes sense. And it's also a test of every little, to make you become aware of every little thing that you're doing. Oh, they got lines at Lowe's. Well, what are you doing there? Do you need anything from this Babylonian system? Really? Other than what it gives us? It's already got a roof over our head, running water. You don't even need to eat. That's another imaginary matter. So whatever you do, just do it with joy. That what we always knew was real. I had an experience 10 years ago, which, of course, there's a song, Led Zeppelin, 10 years gone. So there's a period when you're shown something before you understand it. In a lucid dream, you wake up in it, and things just happen instantly. Think how exciting that is. This is the same world, same experience. We're dreaming this world. So we're going to make it a little more lucid. Things happen slower here, so it's a more interesting game, more interesting show. Stay home, watch Netflix. Look at the messages that we are putting in there. God is putting those messages in there as clues for us to pick up. Stay home and Netflix and look at that paper scroll. It all starts to make sense, because it's looking for the heart. That's the only love can exist from the higher place from where we descended down into this matrix. It's not evil. It's just a show to be experienced and mastered. Ma steered. The mother is now being steered. We just didn't know that we had the keys to the show. So we got to go change the reel and the projector. And that's how we heal the heel that was healed here, right? Your soul is your soul, but it's up on high. So it's that energy matter and the spirit, indivisible under God. That's what all this stuff means. Every little phrase that was in us is a clue to wake up in this dream. That's what was intended. So I think the days of, hey, can't you think, calling people retards, time to move on to the next brink. So I just be grateful that this is going on. It's time. It's been too long. Or it's just this time of the song. So yeah, I don't know. I could cover all that. The golden thread, I saw it. I popped out of my existence. Everything was golden, and I was hovering, attached like umbilical cord. So the golden fleece, Jason and the Argonauts. When the strings come together, they can't be broken. That's what the fasci is on the big show. That's what it's telling you. So that government, study it well, because it's a key to the mind that in you dwells, the kingdom. It's just giving you a test, an example. But it's everything in it. It's just perfect down to the T, right? The IT to it. That's the I, Jesus, the Ankh in your head. The two twin pillars of Joachim and Boaz. The Masonics are not your enemy. It's just a clue that this game is a perfect contraption, right? If you think it's a hell, it will be a hell, because that's how powerful your mind is. So there are gatekeepers, because it's just a frequency war. But coins, a coin is a coin, and they're all free. You can play forever, right? The real death is when you forget. But these are the keys to play the game in a newer, another level. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the speech I give anyone who gets in my car incarnation, to get them to think about. We have to search out these golden threads. They say there's 144,000 that were scattered. That's the Tower of Babel. And that we were sprinkled in all this matter because it'd be a test of ourselves. Different languages. None of these things exist. Religion is not something out there in a church in another man. Don't put anything above the God in your head, because it's going to be coming around to make sure that you're home. You're as a captain on this ship. They can't do anything to us without our permission slip. So that's why it's all voluntary. Osiris is us, that the body got scattered, right? The 14th piece, right, was the pinnace. The pen is the writer. So that's the one last piece that we need to find. It's the same in any of these supposedly different climes, cultures, and these are all just tricks of the test, the set. There is only one being. It just has a lot of different flavors. Borders are a lie, or different languages, skin tones, races, money. These are all just seen things on the set. They don't really exist because of our core heart, we're one. So as we walk on down the road, our shadows taller than our souls, your soul is projecting that shadow, that Babylonian system. We find the lady that knows everything that glitters can still turn to gold. That's why gold, that's where it comes from, because when you feel that, that's the color. The urine is what your physical body was bathed in. The first thing, matter, that spirit makes is water. So holy water, it washes away all the sin. It goes somewhere, gets purified again, somehow. Is that magic? No, it's just what God is. It can do anything. It can dream anything. Up. The whole Bible is just a explanation of how the one spirit started dreaming its creation. But there's a character in there you might want to pay attention to, Methuselah, the long memory. So those are your characters out there on the big set. Your Trumps, and they always take on the same roles. Trump was the pattern before everything gets updated, So be glad that they're here. They're here from on high. That wants you to get this in your head, right? That you come from the sky. We rock star down here. We're the real rock stars because there's our portals up there. Oh, what else? I don't know. Anybody have any questions? So we are like the real free Masons. They're staged things, reflections, Babylon, to get us to remember. The Judah, there's the lion, lies in our hearts. So that's the meta, the big picture from what's going on. So we'll find each other. Just remember, all that really happens is in your mind. So the flood, that's when the waters, so Jesus Christ is going to return to save you. We just didn't know what path. Nobody was looking, because they were messed by the scenery. But it's actually a thought that comes down right on time according to the script in the Revelation. Nothing to worry about. You've done this for eternity. And the stage has been set for this to go, the only way it can. It must be. There's so many clues. The language is, I've seen it breaking, like every little thing that comes out of it. Well, if you think that that's evil and set up to test you and fool you, it has. But it's just a mirror. So now we have the keys to decipher the codes and what a code is. There's only one law. So be careful by saying, are you a person? Your first layering was your body. But we know in art that that's temporary. But we can do with it whatever we want when we get the keys to the show, right? Because we're the real movie maker. Trying to think if I left anything out. I mean, it goes on forever. Even in your car is a reflection of you. Objects in the mirror might be closer than they appear. That's on the passenger side. The driver's side is clear. It's flat. So the metaphor there is, are you driving your own car in the passenger seat of your body, your car? So you have to have a driver step in and take the wheel. That's the government. They're telling you what to do. You say, well, people do need to be told what to do, and that's true. But that's because they break the law. The gatekeepers have to exist, because you can't just go into the kingdom, right? So learn to be your own government. That's the chamber. It's the dome. It's what all that stuff represents on the physical plane. It all has an exact mapping to your anatomy, your terrain. If you're afraid of a virus or a germ that's going to take your health, you've denied your creator's ability. So, because you're made perfect. He gave everything, or he, it's just convenient because he is the ray, the raws that penetrate the mother, the mata. And the all-seeing eye is you. That's the all-seeing eye. We're the they, looking at itself in a mirror. So things will get a little bit crazy. I'm deciphering. I finally have new eyes to read the Bible, but it's the next part of the play is that the ones that are very close to you will search you out. They'll be searching in your soul to make sure what's there. That's their goal. That's why they're here. They're a part of your play. And not everyone here has the golden thread. So don't worry about saving this world. It will never go back to that normal. It's just not the way it is. But learn what the law is. And try to encourage that in the ones who have it. Point these things out. Because now you have the key to separate yourself from fear. Because fear cannot be there with love. Because you're unraveled. You're afraid. Your cord here has become afraid. Your Trinity has been separated by the Babylonian system. Because you thought that was real. That's what Israel is all about. Why is Israel? Well, just look through the mirror. Because what is real is what's in here. It's your kingdom. And you're riding your ship. So someone steps in there and says, oh, they're testing you. That's why any law officer, they're not law, and they're officers. because they're office. Nobody's at home in your office of your estate. They want to see if anyone's home. Your true living God is at home. That's what's running your ship. You might have forgotten that. That's all it is, just a test. And once you demonstrate it, the shadow there's nothing else you can do except retreat. Because you're home. And you have your body, there's nothing, if you accept it, that's the test. Getting a COVID test is the test. That you accepted someone to say, there's no one here. No one's on riding the ship. So you get on the citizenship and you go into admiralty law. You were birthed out of the waters. They consider you a child all throughout your days unless you learn the real estate is your state of mind. So that's why they always ask you, what's your name? State your name. The name is your enemy. You're not a name. These roles, it's a way to test you. In all caps name, it's an estate that was made for you in this physical plane to test you. It's just a test. You're not a birth certificate. You're a living man. You're a man. Everyone's a man in male and female forms. Man, you're the A. That's a bridge between Mother Earth and N, the energy, the sun. That's what man is, a living man. So when you come out of your mother's water, you go onto their citizenship under admiralty, maritime law, with its codes and all these things. Color of law. They never say in law, of law. Or do you have your feet on the land? You came here to rock, but not to roll. You control your own roll. It's a rock and roll star. That's what we are, the real ones. And the things on the set, those rock and roll stars, are singing off of a script to remind you of who you are. So go back and listen to those iconic rock songs. They don't ever change. It's just people have been dying shorter, so they forget that it's just a stage that keeps getting updated. Gates will always be the gatekeeper. That's what's in the ether. The system will always update to make a bigger boogeyman, because it wants to see where the fear is. Because fear will keep you here until you learn the lesson. So it's going to get pretty wild, I imagine. But that's all it's doing. It's just a shadow to see if you're worthy. You have the love. To share with our fellows. That's the fellowship. That's where the real joy is. I went down to Costa Rica thinking I could just walk away into nature, but my spirit guides said, no, it's about the fellowship. You find pleasure in other people, yourself, because we are the one thing. We've just come down here to experience it, so. And then to come back together is even better. But we do that up here first. The rest will take care of it. The show will take care of itself. That's when you can you get to not sit back and watch it, but you know what you're watching now, finally. It's not out of your control. It's just what you're allowing to be projected through your God projector. So, it's gotta remember, because we have memories of everything. Enjoy, take pleasure, love yourself. Before you're worried about trying to love someone else. We've been tested in every way that we can to get to this place, this point, this strand. And there's the reward. Well, if you're going to get rewarded, could be a prison or a prism. So pay attention to the thoughts. That thought, they, that's everything. The thought creates the world. For those on the trying to figure out the past, what's happened here? Where did we come from? Forget it. This is just a testing set, cosmic egg. The real kingdom never goes away. We're just riding the waves, the Ethernet waves. Is 5G going to kill us? Well, it's just a part of the play to see if you'll fall for the fear. Because the real frequency is what you hold in here. It can't be denied. You'll get a taste of it, and you'll see the shadow reside, and you'll feel the heart of the Lion of Judah leap in your chest, because you're no longer lost on the Vegas. You're not in Vegas being distracted with the sports. The politicians, the sports, every part of this play is coordinated because it's the Babylonian system. Where are the pro athletes? Aren't they upset that they're not making their big paychecks? They're just part of the play, a projection to see where we're at. All the people watch the football game. There's a row all around the game looking at them. Those are your gatekeepers. Because the people in the stands think that is the real game. Gatekeepers are there to make sure that you are worthy, that you haven't put someone else in your purview, your purveyor, your viewer. So a government is never going to give you what you really want. It's not what it's there for. The police are always going to check you. The poles they'll put on ice. So 33rd degree Mason, that's what frees water. But there's 360 degrees. That's the one eye that can see all around. So it's a hell of a journey. You'll catch yourself, what on earth was I thinking? What in the world was I thinking? That's a different thought process. That's the ego. So that's where the energy goes. Where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows into the creation. But it's just a temporary tool to navigate this game. So be careful, or pay attention to your thoughts as you go about your day. And these things will be revealed. All the clues are there in play. Every song has something to tell you. Everything you've lived through had a specific purpose to hone you, to shine the diamond. The real diamond is the gold thread, the God that is in us. So let's just quit complaining about all these characters. They're just doing their thing. It's time for us to step up. I don't know. It's an amazing thing. But every time I see a code, I'm like, yes! Here's the king. So take some responsibility for everything that's going on. Because we're all in this together, but not everyone. A vaccine? Are you really afraid of a new vaccine? It's the same set. It's the same characters. It's the same scene, just updated a little bit to make it more interesting. But now you know who's at home, who runs your body. So I don't know. So I'll leave it at there. So whatever happens out there in Babylon, just break down the symbols and appreciate the God that's giving the real controller. Oh, they're just puppets. They're sheep. Well, the flock has his herd, the golden fleece. We're just a collective unit riding the wave in the samadhi. But we know it's just a dream, as it must be. But it's time to wake up in it. So this is the key for the next part of the play. I look forward to writing it with you, my tribe. We all signed up for this. The LAS somewhere. Social tracking. That's your social contract, your soul contract. It's checking. Contract law, admiralty law, that's all that it is contracts. That's the reflection. So in order to fulfill our social contract with our maker, we agreed to take this journey. There's no contract in the physical world, you have nothing to worry about. Officer gives you a ticket, he's offering you a contract to see if you'll agree to not be the real you. It's just a game. So just think about that law, think about where you might have been breaking it, that's where we find ourselves. You just correct that, and you know it in your heart and in your mind. That spirit, the real spirit, makes the shadow It's all it can do is reflect the shadow. And it's a pretty amazing thing to witness. Alright, I guess I would leave it there, my tribe. Big love. I'm going to hit finish, but we are far. There's a lot more scenes in this. What's up?